Today on our Montana Homestead in FS25, it may be the middle of winter and we're headed for a big blizzard, but it's that time to finally cash in on our first big sorghum harvest. You can find a link to this playlist in the description below, or check the channel page for other farming series you might like. Hello everyone, welcome back to our Montana Homestead here in FS25. It is January, and yeah, I'm wearing a t-shirt. That's because, well, here on our little homestead, we just have this small house. There's not even a place in here to change. I'll see if I can fix that in a second. So we're here on our Montana Homestead. It's January. If you're not familiar with the rules of the homestead playthrough that we're doing here, I'll put those on the screen real quick. And basically, it's just a fun little self-imposed challenge to start off, a different way to start off a farm, and kind of some rules to play by to progress in the game, you know, with some more restrictions. I think it's kind of fun. Right, so January, because this is basically the prices of sorghum have hit their peak, and yeah, so all that sorghum that we harvested when we first moved here, we're going to take that and sell that off. There's not really much else to do this month, but that's going to be huge, because if you see up there, we're down to $4,600. I had some money last month in December. The last video, of course, was in November. Not much happening over the winter, so there was not a December episode because the only thing there was to do was like one contract. And the thing is, we got payments on this tractor here of, well, for some reason it says $10,000. Last month it said $16,000. I don't know, but the monthly payments of this tractor, well, it's saying $10,000 this month. For whatever reason, it's going down. Regardless, we don't have enough to make the payment on it, so we've got to. It all worked out, is what I'm saying. It all worked out because this is the month we're selling our grain. There's really no contracts to speak of. None that we can do with our rules that we're doing really on this playthrough. Luckily, we can sell our sorghum, so we can make our tractor payment, and we're going to get quite a bit. It's going to sell pretty good. So I've marked as a spot down there. Usually I don't do the waypoint. As you see, I've got a waypoint up there for 8,000 feet away. Usually I don't do that, but I did it so we know where the sell point is at, because I've had a look here at the prices for sorghum, and you can see there's a lot of places buying sorghum right now. The place I chose is this place right here. It's got one of the best prices, and it's not that far away. And it's not only that it's not just the distance, it's that it's directly straight down the road. And this is a big map that I'm not fully familiar with yet. So for our first trip there, just so I can make sure I know where it's at, we got it marked. It's right there on the railroad track. So that's where we're going to be taking our sorghum. It's going to take a few trips. That's one reason I took a distance into account, because it's going to take a few trips. Got us another trailer, so we have two tippers. Well, you see, we've got a lot of sorghum. So we're going to have to move some stuff out of the way. While the tractor warms up, let's see. We need to move some of this stuff here. There's, I think, 79, let's call it 80,000 liters of sorghum, I think, that we're moving. Whoa, it's slick out here. So, yeah, we're going to have to watch that. It did snow some overnight last night. This is much slicker than I expected. I have to go very slow and carefully here, probably until I pick up this roller. So, estimating 80,000 liters. Those trailers each hold 15, so that's 3 trips with that tractor down there, so it'll take a minute to just to deliver it all down there. It's one reason I didn't want a sell point that was all the way across on the other side of, you know, the county. So it's really slick out here. We're going to have to be careful in the grass here. There's only a little bit in this silo. Now, of course, if you've been watching the series, then you know, yeah, these are just temporary wire mesh silos. They're really cool. Just temporary while we set up our farm, because we started with basically nothing, right? Let's get this auger positioned here. There's just a little bit in the silo. Once we get these emptied out, well, it depends. I want to make sure we have enough money first. But when we do, we're gonna sell these, and we're gonna get a good silo. We'll start with just like one. Well, I don't know. We'll get that worked out. But yeah, we're gonna use a really cool flat bottom bin that I found for us. Okay. So that one's set, ready to go. Let's circle around and face the tractor south. We can't back these trailers up, not having both of them, so we're going to want to pull through here, being mindful of the slick yard. Of course, yeah, once we get our permanent silo here, we're also going to get some roads through here. The silo is going to be in a different orientation and kind of a different part of the farmyard. This is all temporary because this is our first year here still. Let's see. Sorghum, there we go. Why is it not overloading? I guess we got to wait for the auger to fill up. I've not used this auger. I've only used the auger to fill the silo. I've not yet used it to offload from the silo. I'm guessing we got to wait for the auger to fill up first, because the auger is filling. And there wasn't much in that silo. Here, let's hop out here. There wasn't much in that silo. There we go. Yep. Okay. That's what I was thinking. Well, that's fairly realistic. I actually didn't expect that little touch there. I mean, I do always make sure that the mods I use are high quality. That's some unexpected realism there. And so, yeah, one thing I do know, having used the auger, though I have used it to fill the silos, I do know it will continue to run until it's empty, though. That's pretty cool. All right, well, this auger definitely gets high marks for me, then. That's cool. All right, so let's take this over to the other silo, then. There we go. Now let's... Am I close enough? Yep. All right. Yeah, and then this silo has... Yeah, so we had about 79,000 liters. All right, this is going to be a heavy load of sorghum. So one of the reasons I'm sliding here in the snow is we are running a mod here among like 138 others. We're running a mod called Realistic Weather, which will make the roads slick. It will... my tire traction is going to be affected by the traction on the road, the weight of the trailers, and everything like that. So we're going to have to drive carefully, very carefully with this load. I believe Realistic Weather is on the mod hub. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Probably for PC only. Can't say for sure, but just putting that out there. It's one of the more... it's one of the mods in this playthrough that affects pretty much everything. It's going to affect like everything. Field moisture, everything like that. This is cool. I like this auger. Yeah. It's the same reason I have a mod called, Realistic Fueling or whatever that makes it take longer to fuel up the tractors. I like mods that make things more... I mean, it's like, why would you want this? It makes it a real pain in the butt to fill up your trailer. Because the ones that do it, like, instantly are not realistic to me, and, yeah. Okay, so that trailer's full. No. What's going on, then? Let's go see. Yeah. Not even close. Well, to be fair... I didn't like how far it was from the... It might have been like right on the edge, and that's why it stopped. I don't like that it's so close, but I can't exactly adjust it. But yeah, I don't like the things that fill up, like... Okay, like, everyone plays their own way. But, like, there's, like, cheat implements, like, super wide harvesters, machines that go 100 miles an hour and thing. Why would you want any of that? Like, a good saying I always like to reference is that Farming Simulator is like playing Tractor Solitaire, Why would you cheat? I don't know, but some people want to. That's fine. Point is, I don't. I like things that take an extra long time. So we're going to get this filled up here and move to the back trailer. I like that this auger is realistic. All right, that is the front trailer filled. I think. Looks like it. Yeah, that's the front trailer filled. Now let's try to get the back trailer more... Yeah, that's better, like right there. Oh. I think. That's better, yeah. Let's hop here and go check this. Alright, it's going to take us a few runs of this down to the store. This is cool, though. I'm excited about this because the current sale price is just over $1,600 per 1,000 liters. 80,000 liters, so do that math. That's about $128,000-ish. Quick math off the top of my head. Right? So, yeah, and that's, for our starting farm, that's a lot of money. That's enough to buy a silo and maybe look at a piece of equipment too. Like, for instance, there is a used windrower up for sale. This could come in handy. I mean, then again, it's not a terribly expensive piece of equipment anyway, so maybe Maybe not. Yeah, maybe, yeah, because that's not a real high dollar piece of equipment anyway. If we're going to buy equipment that's on sale, I'm going to say, you know, 120 grand, it's a lot of money. Is that right? Yeah, yeah, it should be about $128,000. That's 60% of, wait, why am I doing 60%? I'm sorry, I did the math in my head. I didn't realize why I was doing the math. Yeah, because 160%, because $1,600 per thousand liters. And anyway, I know it'll come out to $128,000. I don't exactly know how I did the math in my head, but there you go. However that works. I was just trying to figure out, why was I calculating 60%? But yeah, it should be $128,000. So, okay. Well, to be fair, okay, here's how the math works. That's per 1,000 liters, right? 1,600 for 1,000 liters. That's plus 60% on top of the $1,000. That's why I was doing that math. It's just really weird. Okay, so enough of that. Let's turn on our lights. Let's make this drive down to the place. So eventually I plan on having the silo, our new silo that we're going to build, it's going to be more like here-ish, and it's going to face this way, because our road out to the road is up here. Although you can't see it. I tried, my aim was to invest in a snowblower, but no dice. We didn't have the money. As you can see, we're down to $4,600 because of the tractor payment that we had to make last month. So I couldn't afford a snowblower. So we're so poor, I was literally hoping that it didn't snow very much. I was like, man, I hope it doesn't snow much. All right, luckily they plowed the roads. Yeah, I didn't know how that was going to be. This is my first winter here on Judith Plains, Montana. First winter here. I didn't know if the road was going to be plowed or not. I didn't know what to expect. But here in Montana, they've got good road maintenance. So we just got put my cruise control on here. We've got us a fairly slow drive to the store. We might just get up to speed. We might just get up to 30 miles an hour before we get there. Well, it's a beautiful morning here. I haven't looked at the weather yet, but we might be free of snow today. It's a pretty long drive to the store, so yeah, but we still have not made it to the speed limit. No, 25 miles an hour appears to be our top speed here. Well, actually, right as we're getting into town, we got to stop up here. But we left from our farm, I don't know, a couple minutes ago. It's driven over a mile. We just hit our top speed. We literally just hit 32 miles an hour. It took us over a mile. I mean, I don't know exactly how far, but, well, this distance up here was, what, 8,900 some feet, right? And now it's only 900 feet, so we've gone over a mile. That's how far it took us to get the speed limit. All right, or our top speed, rather. So we're going down here somewhere. I've not been, really the only place in this town so far that we've been is the store. Only been here for a few months and haven't, this is our first grain sale. So far all the money we made, what little of it we have made, has just been from contracts. Once we see exactly where it is we're going up here, I'll kill that annoying waypoint. I don't like to have things floating on my screen like that. Okay, so it's this grain elevator right here. Yeah, it would seem so. Big green one here. Oh, that's the name of it too, isn't it? Yeah, this map's really good. It's got all custom signs and everything. Because apparently the sign on the side of the store is, yeah, that's actually really cool. Most maps don't have that kind of detail. That's really cool. Yeah, it's got a custom sign for the... Anyway, this is the place. We're going to want to... whoops, that's the wrong button. Sorry, I was playing Roadcraft last. I just instinctively hit B for my handbrake, but there's no need for that here, obviously. We need to change our tip side. Can I tip these off to the left? Yes. And this one right here. Left. Okay. There we go. All right. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that our trailers were going to tip correctly. Because we were just, we were most recently using our silo. All right, here we go. We should get some good monies here. Well, this should be about, these two trailers here should be about, I don't know, 48 grand or something. Oh, look, all that sorghum. Ooh, I was right on the money. 24 for each trailer. All right, so yeah, my weird math, it did work out. I don't know how it works all the time, but it works. All right. Yeah, so that means the total, that means my total number was right too. My total number of what was it, 128 is what we'll get total. I say, yeah, we should build us a silo, because I'm looking forward to that. It'll be really cool. It'll be like the first, like, but when we get that tiny little house, we get a couple trees, but that silo is going to be like the first real sign that a farm is actually, you know, taking place there. A farm is, you know, being built. All right, I'm going to carefully get this guy back to the farm, and we're going to load up again. We've got, I guess, 2 more trips to make. Here we are back at our farm, and yeah, that's a solid 4-minute drive. Top speed all the way from the place. This map is big. I'm fine with it. I like that, and I chose to put the farm here. But that's definitely stuff you want to take into consideration. Oh, I got to slow down on this snow here. Yeah, I just remembered we're not on the paved road anymore. We are on bumpy, slick snow, and my trailers are empty. So, all right, now what's the best way to pull? I'd say the best way to pull around is the way we did before. Yeah, see, I want to have the silo closer and facing. I don't know, but when we build the silo, and I'm really looking forward to that, well, first of all, we're going to have to wait till the snow's gone. But second, I want to do some very careful placement of it. Now, can I squeeze under this auger? I didn't like the way it was dumping into the trailer. All right. Well, I'm going to get these guys filled up. I think what we might do when it's time to place the silos, I'm just thinking here while this fills up. If you were here in the episode where we built these fields, the way we laid out the farmyard was with the, I think this is a cool way to do it. We hope we used the disc harrow on the tractor. I like to kind of drive around with the tractor. Yeah, and we could use either a mower. We could use a mower, might work too, since this is all smooth grass, but use a mower or use anything really. And kind of draw it, draw it on the ground and see how is it, how is this going to look, right? To help visualize it, because wherever I put that silo, that's where it's going to be. That's where it's going to be. I want to make sure it's a good distance, it's facing the right direction, and that there's room to put roads to it and everything, so that it's efficient getting in and out. Yeah, I think a mower might work. So if you're curious about this auger, right there it says Lizard Screw Conveyor. It's really good, and if you guys were thinking the same thing I am, you might want to get it too. Here's some of the mods that we're using. Here it is, Screw Conveyor. So it's just called Screw Conveyor. I would look for it on the mod hub. I think about 99% of these mods, 99% of these mods came from the mod hub, so it's probably on there. Here's most of the ones we're using. Some stuff won't appear here, but here's most of the stuff we're using here. All right, so how much is left? I think that trailer's about full. Yeah, trailer's just about full. How much is left in the silo? Silo's got 16,000 left. Barely too much for one trailer. Still, either way you look at it, one more trip. So I'm gonna get this down to the elevator. I definitely had to stretch our money a bit to buy that second trailer, and I wasn't sure about it. Boy, am I glad I did now. I bought the second tipper because, well, figured we're gonna need a second one eventually. But I was thinking, would it really be worth it to buy a second tipper just for this one harvest? Yes. Because otherwise, this would take twice as many trips and 4 minutes each way. Yeah, it's a long drive. It's a long, long drive. But that's what you sign up for when you get a 4X map. But, you also get more realistic, area sizes. We got 2 whole towns here. We got more realistic field sizes. You get a lot more with that. But yeah, in real life, farmlands are big distances, right? And I don't mind this. Again, yeah, if you play on a map like this, if you want to, yeah, if you place your own farm like we did here with this one, be mindful of where you put it. I didn't want to have it too far from the store. I knew that was kind of stretching it, but it's doable. Anyway, we're just about there with our second load of grain. Let's get this offloaded. yeah, so I guess we'll be waiting until the snow clears up, and after the snow melts, we'll buy that silo. So that'll be kind of the next thing we're working on. Is we still got a couple months before planting season. I guess we're going to be planting corn. I still haven't really decided, but I'm still guessing corn. So we got a couple months before we plant, but we got to be a little careful with the money because in this playthrough, we're not taking out any loans. Loans are not allowed. Self-imposed rule, but you know, yeah, I decided no loans, which means if we cannot, you know, if I can't afford a payment for the tractor, then we're kind of screwed. Well, we'll just have to be able to because we can't take out a loan or anything. And we're at this time of year right now, there's no contracts to do really, so we got enough money for the silo, and we'll probably wait and see. I think that well, this tractor's we got 2 more payments left to make on this tractor. So I think it said there's 20 grand left to pay on it. I can double check that. But I think financing, for instance, a harvester would be a good idea. We're going to want to have a harvester this summer for our wheat. And then, of course, later on in the year for our corn, that's going to be like, besides a silo, a harvester is like the #1 thing we need. Also, oh, you know what? Having a harvester, that means that we could be taking those harvesting contracts because of the rules for our homestead gameplay. I've not been doing the harvesting contracts because we don't have a harvester. Now, what's this car doing? I don't know. Oh, actually, I do know. I knocked down this sign on my way back to the farm earlier, and on this map, the cars, yeah, well, nothing I can do about it. He's stuck there because of that sign is in the road. So having our own harvester means we'll be able to take the harvesting contracts, and that's a lot more potential money. Plus, harvester rentals are expensive. We you know, when we harvested this sorghum, we rented the smallest harvester they had, and that cost about 4 grand to rent it, and then like another 4 grand, I guess, because we kept it for over 2 hours, and then it almost charged me a third time. Yeah, that kind of adds up. And that was the smallest harvester they had, which is kind of small, obviously. Boy, these fields out here, I love just seeing these huge fields every time I drive out here. One reason I wanted our farm here is because, yeah, this just has that awesome feeling I love in backcountry America where you just see nothing but fields on every side. I thought it was a beautiful place for the farm. Yeah, it's a little far from the store, but it's not undoable, you know. I think I see our road up here. Yep, there's our wheat field. There's our wheat field. Well, our wheat fields. Both of them. Alright, well, let's go get filled up again. Alright, so this is going to fill up, well, yeah, 1 trailer and then just a little bit in the second trailer. Oh, I didn't see how much was in there. Did it say 20,000? No. Well, we'll see. Either way, yeah. Yeah, I like this auger. I think we're just going to keep using this guy here, although when we get a bigger silo, we'll need a bigger one. But you know, I'm going to keep this one just because I like it. We'll keep this one for emptying the silo out. But yeah, when we get our new silo, we will need to get, that's a good point. When we get our new silo, we'll have to get a new auger because we'll need one that can reach the top of it to fill it because it's a proper silo. So we're going to need to get something like this, or maybe I can search the mod hub. I kind of like older equipment anyway. Older equipment, I don't know. In the area I live, the farms I'm around, I'm used to seeing older equipment. And so maybe to me, it just seems more authentic. I might have a look on the mod hub and see, but otherwise it looks like our choice is kind of pretty much, this guy here, that's not bad. Actually, yeah, I like this probably better than this one. Because, yeah, this one I think is harder to fill with because you got this bottom bit here that pivots, which technically makes it easier, but for me, it's one more variable. This is more just up front as to where it, you know, you got to be more precise with where you back the trailer up to, but we'll see when we get there. All right, and then we just need a little bit Should be a little bit left in there for the rear trailer. Yeah, 1,000 liters. Literally 1,000 liters. Hey, that 1,000 liters, hey, that's $1,600. We can't leave that in the, don't leave that in the auger. All right. Well, last trip to the store. Last trip to the store. All right, now our final two tippers, or final, yeah, tipper and change of our sorghum here. We'll get this offloaded. And check the contracts one last time. I doubt any more work appeared. No. These cultivating jobs, our tractor's not big enough to pull those cultivators. I don't think. Maybe that one, but it's, you know, it's fine. So this is going to be it for this month once we get these offloaded. Is that one emptied? Yep. All we got left is this tipper here. There we go. And so we had about 5,000. I said we were going to get 128, so we should have about 133. 128 total. Okay, so somewhere I was off by a couple thousand, but there's our money. Trying to think that I spend it on anything? No. Anyway, so I was off by 4,000, but that's our harvest sold, and that's a lot of money. It's the most money we've had since it's the most money we've had because we haven't had that much money yet, I don't think. All right, well, let's get this back there, and we're going to move into February, start getting through this winter, hopefully, and then once the snow is gone, then we can have a look at building that silo. And yeah, as much as there's a lot of toys I would like to have for the farm, but I think a harvester is just going to be the best thing to do. And honestly, well, here's the thing. It'd probably be best to finance one. We have a mod that allows us to finance vehicles, which is just kind of essential if we're not allowing loans. It's kind of essential a little bit. So when we buy a harvester, we're going to finance it anyway. So there's no saving up that we would need to do. We could buy it right away. I'll give that some thought. Oops, that's right. This sign is still down on the road. We've got plenty of long drive to get home. So on the way home, I will think about that. Well, guys, it's February, and I'm hiding back here in our barn, here our shed area, which I forget we have this vehicle shed here because, well, it's over on the other end of the property. It's February morning, and as you can see, the snow did not get any better. I'm actually hiding here out of the weather as I have icicles hanging from above, and we've got expected about 1.5 feet of snow. So, yeah. That's what the weather forecast is saying there at the top of the screen in big orange letters, blizzard. One of those February blizzards. So we're not going to be getting our thing built. In fact, I doubt we'll be going much of anywhere because we don't have a plow or a snow blower or anything. We got significantly less money. Now, I remember I looked at the payments left on our tractor just earlier in this episode, and it said there was 2 months left, 2 payments left. Well, just earlier here, when it ticked over February, it subtracted both at once. Hey, luckily we had enough money, but it subtracted 2 months worth of payments for the tractor for whatever reason. But luckily, we had the money, and that tractor is now paid off. So we have only $100,000, but our tractor is fully paid. We don't owe any money on anything right now. So that's good. We can afford our silo. We can afford to... I was looking at harvesters, and I think that this guy right here is the best bang for our buck. Looking at their size, capacity, and cost. This right here, this case, is a significant jump up from in horsepower and hopper size from these guys here. It's 20,000 more. The next step up, we start getting into, you know, close to 400,000. So this right here, price-wise, is, I think, a good logical harvester. And with 450 horsepower, it's got a okay grain capacity, and at 450 horsepower, that would push as big a header as we want, probably 12 meters for sure. I would wager 14-meter header for sure. It would push, maybe even wider. It would push a big header that we could use. So that'd be a really capable harvester. That's the one I think we should go for. But right now, I'm just kind of concerned about this weather here. And I'll tell you right now, honestly, also, I'm still waiting for my frames to catch up. Yeah, it's actually something about this map. I think it's because it's a 4X map. It's a 4X map plus the realistic weather mod, I guess. I had to wait a bit when the snow started falling, and my frames still haven't caught up. Actually, you may not notice it because I'm only recording this at 30 FPS so it may not be below 30, but it's noticeable on my end. It definitely slowed things down a bit when the snow started falling. Right, so, man, I wish we had a bigger house. We're going to have to look at getting a bigger house. I got nowhere to hide up from the snow. That's why I was in the barn there, and my guy looks like we need to get a place to change his clothes, too. I'll work on all that stuff. I guess we're going to call this episode here. It probably ended up being a shorter episode because I think most everything will probably end up being edited out in travel time and stuff like that. But we got our grain sold. It was a thing. Not much more we can do for the winter. So thanks so much for watching today's episode, guys, all the way to the end. Tell me what you think in the comments down below and what you think about the plans for the farm and such like that. I'm looking forward to this weather clearing up so we can continue building our farm and continue into spring. Next time, needless to say, next episode, we're gonna be in springtime, and hopefully this blizzard will be gone. Although it's now saying 63 centimeters expected. It's saying more than it was earlier. There's a lot of snow to come. It might be March and there might still be snow on the ground. Well, I'll see you then. We'll find out. Thanks a lot, guys. Catch you next time.